Hey everyone, it's Lisa from DogMaster here. You also know me as the DogMistress. I just wanted to let you know that we are embarking on an awesome series I'm so excited about called Cocktails and Conversations. I'm not necessarily going to be making cocktails like I have in other episodes, but I just wanted to let you know that this is really about what DogMaster is about. So clearly spirits and cocktails is where our focus is, but being a DogMaster is so much more than that. Being a DogMaster is about doing your own thing, not accepting status quo. And the most important thing is you get to define what the finer things in lives are for yourself. And so I think there are so many dog masters in the Colombia community, and so I want to reach out and find out from them what they love about living in Colombia, how much they love doing their own thing. And so I hope that you're going to appreciate and enjoy this small diversion from our typical I'm going to teach you how to make a cocktail or talk about spirits episodes. So thanks, and subscribe to my channel. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Conversations, and we're here this morning and I'm so excited to be on this side of the bar. And I will tell you that I may or may not have been pestered a little bit to put the next guest higher up on the priority list, and so today we're going to be having old fashions and talking to the dog master himself and my husband Van Hawksby. So take it away, Mr. Bartender.
Yes, so today I'm making one of my favorite cocktails. It is a classic cocktail, an old fashioned, which is 3 ingredients basically. It is bourbon, it is a simple syrup, and bitters. So a very simple cocktail. And I make it, we use oversized ice cubes, 2 ounces of bourbon.
Because nothing says living well like bourbon at 10 a.m.
They didn't know it was that early in the morning.
Well, I like to tell people that we're all about authenticity.
Yes, we are. And we're about authenticity in the cocktails that we make here. That's why we make our own simple syrup. So we just use a Demerara sugar and some warm water. We also use a nice barrel-aged bitters. Give it a stir with a bar spoon. And then decorate with a decoration. You know, we were just talking about decorating the house a little bit earlier today, weren't we?
We were.
Yeah. You get all excited about the holidays, and the holidays are coming.
I know.
Starts with Halloween and ends with Valentine's Day. Yes, the times. Oh, the time of season I just love. Anyway, that's our old fashioned. Here's one for you.
Oh, perfect.
One for me.
Perfect.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Alright. You look so serious.
I am serious.
You are not a serious person. We're at home chatting. You're never serious.
What's going on camera?
That's why I said ignore the camera.
Well, yeah, but now there's video proof of me being a smart ass, so I can't have that out there.
Whatever. So tell me, what do you love about Colombia?
What do I love about Colombia? You know, Colombia is just, what I have found is a very open community, very accepting, and I think a part of that is just the function of having the university here. It seems like it's a kind of a transient community, in that people come and go because of the university, and people are used to seeing new faces around town, and people are curious, and they just seem very, very open about accepting people and having them come in and be a part of their community, even though they may be here for a short amount of time.
Gotcha. You've often said it reminds you of growing up near Stillwater.
It does, yeah.
A university town. It really speaks to you.
Yeah, my father was an academic. He was a college professor, and I grew up in a town very much like Columbia in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And yeah, it just feels very comfortable. You have a community that supports the university that supports the community. It's just a very symbiotic relationship that the whole culture, yeah, I kind of get that feel here in Colombia. So yeah, it is very comfortable.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask, who has been a big influence on you? When you think back through the years.
A big influence on me. I'm going to give a shout out to a couple of my high school teachers. that were, I think, very influential, and one of my sales managers. So I had a couple of influential teachers in high school. One was my band director, Ken Taylor, and he was a very accomplished person in that he was able to work with kids, make them give a damn, and be better. And because of that, we had some award-winning bands. You know, the marching band, the jazz band. The jazz band that he led was a state champions for 11 years straight. And I was a part of that band for 3 years. And also my math teacher, Joe Ford. Just a great guy. Interestingly enough, not much older than I am. When I was in school, it was his first job out of college, so he wasn't but about 4 or 5 years older than I was. But he just we just made a connection. We were very like-minded, and even when I went off to college and struggled with a couple of math courses, I knew I could give him a call, and he was there for me. And then the other one, what did I say? You know, in my short-term memory.
You said a couple of teachers and someone else.
I know. Who was that? I can't think of who that was there.
Well, if it pops up, which sometimes it does, you can just throw it at me.
Well, and I also had this.
Oh, sales manager.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. My friend Tony, he made the comment, and I kind of live by this. He says, if you're not 10 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late, which means be on time and be prompt, which I thought, it just always stuck with me. And one of the things, if you know me, is I'm very prompt. I hate being late. That's just one of the little idiosyncrasies about me in my life, was my buddy Tony. And then there's this lovely lady that's a part of my life who's also been somewhat influential, and that would be you.
Yeah.
And you make me a better person, because you are very introspective and you're very much a thinker, and not that I haven't been in one in the past, but you make me think, make me a better person.
Thanks. Sure. I don't know what to say now. I'm blushing a little bit. So talk to me about what advice you would give your 12-year-old self. And I'm just going to put a disclaimer right here. He wanted me to add this question to all the interviews. He was very interested in this question, so I had to ask.
Because it's a great question. You know, if now that you have lived life, if you had an opportunity to live it over again, what knowledge would you want? And for me, it's two things. One is you have to know your limitations and how to overcome those. And I found out later in life that I had some health issues, basically ADD, and that is something that I struggled with as a young adult, not knowing that this is what I had. But it was just very challenging for me, knowing that just something wasn't quite right, that I couldn't pay attention, and it seems like I just couldn't get ahead. And it caused some issues with me as a younger person, a younger man. And now that I know what I know, I can compensate for that. So I would tell my 12-year-old self, hey, this is something that you have. There are ways to compensate for this, and you won't have to struggle as you did before. And the other one is, it's okay to be a little bit nerdy. It's okay to be the odd man out.
The DogMaster,
yeah, exactly. It's okay to be that person who doesn't follow along with everyone else. And sometimes that guy wins. Sometimes that guy finds a lot of other people who are on that same trajectory. And they come and they gather and they celebrate their individual uniqueness. So it's okay. Yeah. Sometimes the nerd gets the prom queen. Head cheerleader.
All the stuff. We're just going to move
What?
on.
No.
You used to say band geek.
Head cheerleader.
Band geek.
Sometimes we win.
So tell me about what are some significant wins that you feel like that you have had in your life because you accepted finally that you are not like everybody else, and that's not just okay, but it creates opportunities or gives you different ways of expressing that.
Yeah, I don't know that I can say that it gave me, I can't think of any specific opportunities. I mean, give me a second to spout off a bunch of crap and something might pop up. But what it has done for me, it has just been very, very cathartic knowing that it's okay to be who I am. You know, I don't have to fit in someone else's box. And I run around with a lot of other people who don't fit in my or their box. We just enjoy running around. But yes, think of any specific.
I think creating the distillery might be a win.
Oh, you're prompting me now. You know, I would say so, but that comes out of a crazy idea that I had. You know, from my work experiences and doing a self-analysis of what I could be good at. Yeah, the opening up a distillery was just a great bad idea.
Really?
And look what we've accomplished
I haven't
so
noticed.
far. Exactly.
All right, so what do you want to be known for? When people say, ooh, that's Van Hawksby, or ooh, that's the DogMaster, what would you like for them to say afterwards? Do you know he is, or he's known for?
I want them to say good things. You know, I have this personal idea that my personal hell would be that after I am no longer, my personal hell is knowing that, well, not knowing, but that there be people out in the world who think that I was not a good person, that I was a jerk, or that would be my personal hell. I just want to be known as a guy that has expressed himself in interesting and unique ways and gives permission to other people to do the same. So I want to, perpetuate my quirkiness, and I want other people.
Fly your freak flag.
I want people to fly their freak flag. Yes, thank you, Scott Sharp. An old buddy of mine. Yes.
So last week I talked with Arminta, and she was talking about just the general entrepreneurial spirit that Colombia seems to engender, and about how regardless of what specific business you might be in, that we as entrepreneurs kind of come together to lift each other up and to really help each other be successful. And so I was hoping you could kind of tell me about, do you feel the same way about that, as far as like other folks
very
like
much
being
so.
willing to come in and partner in ways that you never thought? Like, you know, did you ever think that you'd be providing cocktails at a chiropractor's wellness workshop kind of a thing? But
No.
It makes sense because of balance.
Yeah. There's a book that I read when I was going through my my MBA program, and it was a book by a gentleman named Keith Ferrazzi, and the title of the book was Never Eat Alone, and it's all about networking. And so if you're on a business trip in a new town or whatever, it's about finding people and networking with them and keeping their information and pulling that card out of your deck when they can be useful, and knowing that they are relying on you and you can rely on them. And that's what I find here in this town, that with other small business owners, other entrepreneurs, that we can work with each other to build each other up and use each other in creative ways to promote ourselves. Not just, hey, I want to use you to promote me. It's this sense of cooperation and community that I have found. So yeah, we've done some interesting things with other businesses, some nonprofits here in town.
And that's one thing that we've talked about, and I've said this over and over. You and I were very clear about at least one thing when we started this business, was that, of course, you typically start a business so you can generate revenue and be successful. But in addition to that, we were equally as passionate about being a good, solid, contributing member to the community.
Yeah. What's the cliche? Rising tides raise all ships, and that is true. That is true. And it's not just other businesses as well. What I find here in Colombia is that people appreciate entrepreneurs and people doing their own thing. And when I was putting this whole plan together for this business, I always point to the farmer's market, which I understand you're going to here in a little bit. Give me some cauliflower. But
he's not going to eat it. He's going to make it for me.
It's a long story. But what I find is that people in this community, they want to know where the things come from that they put in their body. They want to talk to the people who are growing or who are making these things, and they appreciate that it is done locally and done well. So for that reason, again, Columbia's just a great little community. It really is.
It is awesome.
Yes.
All right, so now I'm getting down to my favorite part of the conversation, and that is my questions from inside the actor's studio with James Lipton. Again, if you've never seen that, it's pretty awesome.
If you're getting a commission from the guy, you always say,
I know.
From James Lipton. Go ahead.
This is how our life looks like. If you've been to the distillery, you know. So what is your favorite word, Van Hawksby?
Yeah, jeez, I knew this question was coming, and I can't say what everybody else says. So
unless it is your favorite word.
No, fuck, it's not. I really don't know. You know, I wanted to have something, you know, witty and clever, and I like the word accomplishment, because it just feels like you've done something productive. So let's say accomplishment, because it just sounds like I've done something productive.
We're very
been beneficial.
All right, well, this might be easier for you to answer. What's your least favorite word?
My least favorite word?
Mm-hmm.
Cauliflower. Mediocrity. Mm-hmm. You know, I use the term a lot around here in a self-deprecating way, but it is just that. It is not a term that I would want to associate with myself or with my business or with my life.
That's awesome. So what's a sound or noise that you love?
I like the sound of a large group of people enjoying themselves. Laughter and loud conversations. People who are, you know, in a room and they're just really enjoying themselves. And I hear that a lot here, you know, here at the distillery. So that makes me feel good. That gives me a sense of accomplishment, knowing that I have created a venue, a space where people feel comfortable and they can come and relax and enjoy themselves.
That's awesome. So what's a sound or noise that you dislike?
I don't know that if it's a sound. Whatever sound you would associate with sadness. So whether it's, you know, crying or tears or you know, someone who is obviously in pain because, and again, whatever that sound might be, it being an empathetic person, I kind of internalize those as well. I kind of take that on myself. And then you try to fix that, and sometimes you can't. So that's the sound of sadness. Well, that sounds, you know, odd. Again, I don't know what that sound is, but that's something that I don't like.
Okay. So what turned you on? Life in general.
Life in general, so many things. You know what? Life is meant to be enjoyed. And, you know, I like a good drink. I like the sound of a V8 engine, you know, blasting down the road. I like dogs, cat, so many things. You know what? There's not one thing that I like. I just like life.
It's awesome.
And I like living it to the fullest.
So what turns you off?
Negativity. You know, people who are just trying to, maybe not purposely trying to bring you down, but people who are negative and they just bring you down. So I don't really like negative people, negativity in general.
I would agree with that. So, what profession, other than your own currently, being a distillery owner, would you like to attempt?
Two things, and they're both very technical. When I first went to school, I wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to build things, design things. And I always thought that it would be, you know, if I had the opportunity to go back to school, I would want to go back and try to be an engineer again, and design things. And then along the same lines, an architect. Because you're crafting something, you're building something, although the plans, you're not actually driving the nails, but you're crafting something, you're crafting these plans. And it's very technical, and that would be very interesting for me as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to participate in?
I would not like to wait tables at a restaurant. That just, yeah, that I wouldn't like that. Tending bars are a heck of a lot of fun. But I just think that waiting tables would not be something that I would want to do.
Okay. Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear at the pearly gates?
Cheers, motherfucker, come on in. Sorry, Mom.
I don't think she cares.
No. I'd like to hear clinking glasses, and he's here. Welcome, DogMaster.
Well, thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you all got to see a glimpse of the DogMaster that you typically don't get to see, because typically he's the front man and he's doing the stuff, and he does have a big heart and a soft heart, and sometimes he doesn't like that to show very much, but I get to see that every day because I live with him. So I'm super excited that people get to know a little bit of you the way I get to know you. And I think we've gotten such good feedback about this whole Cocktails and Conversations. And there's so many dog masters in Colombia.
Yes, there are.
That I think we could go on and on with these episodes in this series and still learn so much from each other. So thanks for taking time out of your busy Saturday morning schedule, drinking bourbon with me, and doing some of the things that sometimes you think are ridiculous, but I love to do.
Absolutely my pleasure.
You know, I will tell you, so we're going to clink the cheers glasses. We are at home, we are touchers, and so I spend a lot of my time with my hands in different places, because typically when we're talking about things, we do like to hold hands and such, and so that was kind of hard for me, especially when you got a little bit verklempt, and I was like, oh. So go out, be a dog master, subscribe to my channel. If you know somebody that you would like for me to chat with, then please let me know. I'm also all about self-identification, so if you want to be that person. Currently signing up folks for the rest of the fall, and we have lots of openings, and I would love to talk to folks. I have 2 or 3 people who are on my list who are currently out of the country. So when they get back, we'll be doing some episodes with them. And as usual, go out, enjoy your life. That's what it's for. And we'll see you next time. There you go. See? Easy, easy.